Alright, you read the title, you know what this is about. I'm gonna go into an island, go into a level, give a look around, maybe explain myself, talk about it a bit. Then we're gonna go over here, put it on the list, and move on. So let's waste no time. Ypsilon is first up. And we have a classic, the Southern Cottage. I don't think this has changed since the early alpha. And I mean, it's quintessential. There's not much to say about it. I would put it in the S tier. What can I say? Sentimental, maybe. I remember it fondly. This is going to be a speed run at this rate. Moving on. The Southern Mill. It's basically Southern Cottage, but can you go up a little? It's alright. I mean, well, here. Most people play this for the first time. They're going to build something like this for the mill. And then for the cottage, they're just going to do this. Which, like... Alright, well, you get the idea. If I can put one more block on there, and you have a victory. Let us never speak of this again. But you understand what I mean. It's not... You don't have to edit much to get up that tiny little hill. So Southern Mill, I think it's... You're obviously still learning at this stage. But... Well, it's kind of B tier. You don't really need both of these. They're, it's redundant, maybe. Moving on to... I don't know when they even added this. I was surprised to see it when I booted the game back up to play Splintered Sea. So, I don't know when this showed up, but it's a cool little level. I like it. But, once again, I'm pretty sure you can beat it by pressing the reverse key on the creation you've probably already built. So... Again, I think it's kind of redundant for Southern Cottage. Like, you don't need Wooden Caravan and Southern Cottage, unless people don't know that you can reverse. I think it's kind of B tier. Next up, another classic level. Very important level, actually, because you must learn how to steer if you're ever gonna beat it. And I think it's quite important. For that, a lot of people will end up with something like this. Oh, balls. I can see why they don't rotate it for you automatically. There's something like this in order to beat it. And you know, that's fine. That's a way to steer. Again. Going back over to the tier list. Call me the word isn't sentimental. I don't know what the word is. Maybe it is sentimental. But I think it's a very important level. Because you have to learn how to steer. Moving on to perimeter wall. We're going to notice a lot of the Ypsilon levels, actually all of them, that used to have this stone, have the new stone that you can break with non-explosives. I don't know that this level is that important. Once you have a cannon, you win the level. You can already steer from Old Howl Battlefield. Just put a single cannon and you break the bomb. And you can do the rest. It's not a bad level. Well, let's look at the tier list. I don't think any level in this game is necessarily bad. Maybe there's one that we'll get to later. But I think they're all pretty good, so I don't know if anything's ever going to even end up in the D tier. But perimeter wall, I'd put it in B. It's cool. It does introduce... Actually, I didn't think about this. It does... Come back over here. It does introduce the archers. So, like, taking damage to your machine, not caused by yourself, of course. And I do like the enemies in this game. The obstacles, rather. But I don't know if that's enough to bump it up. Because they sort of like... They take a long time to shoot. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to keep it. I'm gonna have to keep it on B tier. Can't justify it slipping up any higher. Next up, this one. This one is a real classic. This is where you scrap the little dinky thing that you've been using until now and make the most spinningest, killingest, explodingest, flamest death machine that you can think of. And you'll probably win. I don't think that's a good thing. It's a classic level. There's not really much else to say about it. You get to kill a lot of dudes. The only guys who can actually deal damage are the archers, and if you run into one of the 3 bombs. But the bombs mostly help you because fire just absolutely wrecks these guys that clump up together. So I'd have to put it in A. I don't think it's... Well... It is that classic, though. It's that classic. You gotta stick it up higher. I think you gotta put it S. If you played Besiege back when it was just Ypsilon, you probably spent a lot of time here. I know I did, because it's fun to just kill all the dudes a million times with whatever you can think of. Anyways, moving on. Already here on, what is this? Old mining site? Old mining site. You can use a grabber for this, but the way this ore up here is positioned, if you do the thing that you did for the cottage, for, not the cottage, the mill. I'm not focused on it. Pretty sure you can just bump it. Of course, I'm going to embarrass myself again, and this isn't going to work, but it'll just roll in. So you don't really need a grabber. I don't know. I mean, this one, let's just say it doesn't do a lot for me. I'm not like a super fan. I have nostalgia for it because it's old, but I will not let that blind me, except for all those other examples where it totally blinded me. So I think it's a C tier level. It's eh. Nothing really happens. You don't have to try all that hard. This next level is similar in that you don't have to try that hard. But I really like it. This is the first one where something in the environment will attempt to kill you in some way. I always thought the introduction of this was cool, where it just blows and you start getting zapped and set on fire. It takes a long time for you to actually, like, burn up and get destroyed. So if you just have a cannon that, you know, put it on a hinge or whatever, pointed at it, you can just shoot it from back here. But it's up on a hill that you can just build a little poking pole to get. It has a lot of the same problems that I just complained about, but I am a big fan of it. But I did say that I wouldn't be influenced by my irrational nostalgia. So, being fair and balanced, I have no choice but to put it in B. Is that fair? No. It's A. I gotta believe that it's A. Alright. Alright, it's A. And you can't stop me, because I'm objectively correct. I did the math, and it says right here that I'm right. And if you disagree, you're wrong. But if you agree, you're very cool and right, and we're best friends. Thinside Fort. This is another one. Sorry for the coughing, by the way. I'm a little sick. Anyways, I don't know if you can hear it at all, but hopefully not. Thinside Fort, another one on Ypsilon that used to be solid stone. It still says use explosives to destroy, despite the fact that that's not the case anymore. You don't need explosives. It used to introduce you to using said explosives to destroy the stone. Now it's more of an introduction to destroying things that don't fall over with a light breeze, like the cottages. Theoretically, you could have done that in perimeter wall, but perimeter wall, most people are going to shoot the bomb and blow the whole thing sky high. That being said, it's not a particularly interesting level. If we switch back over here, the amount of stuff we have that can destroy the stone, just like drill, put it on the front, you win. The bomb, they used to be like hard to get over there because they'll roll around. You have to find a way, not find a way, just use one holder, but then you gotta figure out how to blow it up. Grenades made that a lot easier. You can just hold them and then blow them up whenever you want. So, I'd say it's B tier. I don't think it's all that interesting. It used to be like a very necessary introduction to how do you break this stone, but I don't think it's really necessary anymore. Next up, Midlands Encampment. It's a level. You can mostly beat it by making something big enough that drives in a straight line. Run over the front guys, then the back guys, then the tents, and by that time you've probably already won. A lot of the tents also like to fall over in the wind, or the guys will run and break their own tents if you just go over there. I do think it's cool that the cannons shoot at you. Okay, they're not very good shots, evidently. But I'm a big fan of the cannons. I wish cannons that shoot at you were used in more levels. I know they're in Mesa Outpost, all the way over. And there's some on the airships. But I think cannons like this, but more powerful, were kind of underused in the campaign. All in all, I like this level, but it's not the most interesting level. So we're going to have to come over here. Let's get in the B tier treatment again. A lot of B tier Epsilon levels. But, oops. Wait. Hold on. Has it been like this the whole time? It meant to be like this. Whatever. Anyways. But maybe things are about to take a change. Because Liar Peak, I'm kind of a fan. It's up on a hill. You gotta figure out how you're gonna get up there and how you're gonna counter the wind. Now, a lot of what this level teaches you is how to throw things, or how to aim your cannons like up, because if you aim them just straight up, the cannonball usually gets veered off to the left here. Is my cursor being captured? No, it's not. Oh, it is. Okay. Whew. Cannonballs will get veered off to the left by the wind, so you gotta learn to aim them a bit right. You can usually do that with steering, but some people will learn to use steering blocks or wheels or what have you to aim a little. And all in all, I think it's a pretty good level. I like the levels where you have to go up somewhere or climb up something. I don't know why, but I'm a big fan of those. Rough terrain is kind of my jam. So Liar Peak, I'm sticking up an A. It's probably, if I was rearranging the tiers, which I'm not going to, probably, I would put it over here, because I think it's better than Standing Stone. I think Liar Peak is what Standing Stone wants to be, but Standing Stone shoots lasers at you that don't really do anything. And then moving on, speaking of levels that other levels want to be, Thinside Fort wants to be Highland Tower, because Highland Tower is just a better Thinside Fort. It shoots back at you. It's up on a little hill. You gotta figure out how you're gonna get stuff up there. Liar Peak taught you how to shoot things up, so maybe you can use that again. Oh, but you gotta not get shot. It's sort of like a combination of Standing Stone and Liar Peak. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to say about it. Shoots back, you blow it up. It's a great time. Solid 8-tier level. Moving on. Now, speaking once again of levels other levels want to be, Old Mining Site wants to be, what is this level called? Pine Lumber Site? Pine Lumber Site. Old Mining Site wants to be Pine Lumber Site because it makes you use a grabber. And grabbers are very important and also very cool. And you should learn how to use them. And this level will make you do that. It even tells you hint grabber. I thought it used to say on Old Mining Site, but it may have never said that. Again, we're kind of going back to a bit of a speed run here. Pine Lumber Site, I think it's very important. I would put it... Okay, I put it in A tier. Not quite S tier material. It's not classic enough. But I think it's pretty good. So I will put it in A. Another level I spent a lot of time on, back, what year was it? 2015? Man, I'm not old, but I feel older having mentioned that. You kill sheep. It's kind of like the Queen's fodder, because these guys don't fight back. You have to drive up there to kill them, maybe, or they'll just all run off because the sheep are kind of dumb and will just jump off the cliff and kill themselves. This level, I don't know. Going back and doing it, I'm always like, ugh, Solomon's Flock. Oops, I keep scrolling. Solomon's Flock, boring. I'd put it in B tier. I can put it in D, whatever this letter is, C tier. B, C. Oh, who's to say? I would put it in C. No, you do like driving up the hill. The hill is almost saving Solomon's Flock. I think it does. But I put Southern Mill. I put Woodland Caravan above Solomon's Flock? No. No, I wouldn't. Alright, you convinced me. Next one. Okay, this level we have to talk about. What happened? What happened to this level? Why does it keep getting easier? There's these three guys, and you may notice the same problem as in Perimeter Wall, which is that there's a bomb right in front of them that you can shoot, and they will all die. And then it's just, can you drive up this smooth ramp, and then like turn, which you already know how to turn, and then drive up this other basically smooth ramp and off a cliff. And I don't think it's very interesting. Now I am going to try, if we switch over here, if we look back at one of, this doesn't work. Oh, it does work, okay. Back at one of my old videos, you can see there used to be a lot more archers, and this bridge was longer and curveder, which honestly doesn't really matter. These guys, they mostly all blew up when you hit the bomb. Some of them didn't, it was a little inconsistent. But if we go further back, this is an old Dragass, now known as Dre, video. You can see there used to be archers up here, over here, and up here. So you could blow some of them up, but not all of them. And I always liked that, because I thought this was like either a test of speed to get up this hill faster than the archers, but while still being maneuverable enough to go around the curve, or a test of, do you have lots of armor? Can you tank all these arrows while still driving up this steep hill? I thought that was pretty cool. If this was the level now, I'd put it in A tier. But because I'm an elitist and I hate when things get easier, Marksman's Pass is going in the C tier. D? No. It's going in the C tier. I don't think anything's going in D. There's one level that might be going in D. Actually, there might be two. Figure that out later. Put it in C. You don't do anything in in Marksman's Pass anymore. You shoot the bomb and then you drive a bit. So it's just perimeter wall, but with extra steps. The extra steps are like 12 seconds. Not interesting. And finish it off. Winifred's Keep. Winifred's Keep. It's a fun level. You blow up a castle, you kill some guys. That's all there really is to say about it. I think a lot of the, if I'm not mistaken, all of the final levels are just you destroy a castle or a fort or a tower, and it's fun. You get to destroy stuff. I don't think the final levels should be anything more than that. So, I mean, A tier, good level. I'm not gonna say it's like peak. I don't find myself going back to Winfrisk Keep for all the exciting gameplay, but I think it's a good level. And with that, our first island is complete. Check the time on that. How long did that take? 22 minutes? Alright, we might be here a while. Tolbrun. Oh, look at this beautiful island. I will make my bias known. I love Tolbrun. I think it's the best island. Hands down. I think it beats Valfrost and Krolmar combined. Low bar. We'll get to that later. Tolbrun. I love Tolbrun. And look at this. It's Winfried's Keep. You might not have realized it, but it's Winfried's Keep. And it's a classic level. It was the first level with this destructible stone, and people used to love coming here just to destroy that stone. What a time it was. Also tells a little bit of a story with them trying to buy you off with the cart of gold. Kind of cool. I'd put it up with Winfried's Keep. Personally, I like it a lot better. I'd put it over here. But anyways. Great level, break some stuff. Cool times. Southern Shrine. I'm actually a big fan of this level. It's not like super complicated. Make something to block the birds, or fly in front of the birds, or torch all the birds. You got options. Kill the birds, and it's a good time. And you can break the statue, because it's fun. I would put it up in, oh, our tiers are getting bigger. I'd put it up in A tier. Moving on. Maybe this won't take so long. Now this level. Everybody saw this level, and they said, "What is this? I'm in the air? There's floating rocks flying? I have to figure out how to use this flight tab? What does all this stuff do?" But luckily they added balloons, so stupid people like me could still win. And, I mean, it teaches you how to fly, which is one of the most OP things in Besiege. So, I'd put it up in S. I think learning to fly, even if it's just by balloon, is very important. And more importantly, it's very powerful. This next level, you can actually use that flight to basically win for free. Or you can try to destroy all the bomb cows. I don't know if you can... Yeah, you can. If you build something all metal, you could probably survive the bombs as well. It's got options. And, Guess that's really all about there is to say on this level. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun level. I put up with Southern Shrine. Duke's Prototypes. Yeah, I put up with Southern Shrine. And now, you know you're all waiting for this one. It's the best level in the game. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Whatever you said, if you didn't agree with me, you're wrong. Because these freighters are so flippin' cool. They got cannons on them. They shoot at you. They're hovering in the air. Look at them go. They're hovering around. Oh. I had the overlay on. Now look at them. Now look at them. They're hovering around. Me in the past. Don't make that mistake. There's another timeline where I didn't mess that up. Anyways, these freighters, they're really cool. They have some of the Duke's Prototype guys hanging around that'll run at you. You can shoot them from the bottom. You can try to grab them and like smash them into each other. You can fly up there and shoot them down, or bomb them, or burn them. It's just a great level. Super, double, triple S tier. Definitely my favorite level in the entire game. Next up, the Grand Crystal. This is another, probably want to grab her for this level. I think it's a pretty good level. You can break this thing to get the crystal down. You can try to go up there and get it yourself. You can try to grab it from the ground. With the new harpoons, you can harpoon it down, which is it's pretty cool, pretty sick if I do say so myself. Solid level. Gonna notice a pattern here on Tolbrin. I like a lot of the levels. There's gonna be a lot of A's and S's in Tolbrin's future. Now we have Farmer. I've always said Gascagine. That would imply the G is before the I, which it's not. So is it Gascoigne? Gascoigne? I have no idea. I think it's like a Bloodborne reference. I have not played Bloodborne. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyways, this level's pretty cool. It introduces melee units that actually can hurt you. Let's watch him hurt. Watch stuff. Whoa, he breaks things. What the hell? Before, only archers could hurt you, and those bomb cows. But now, there's a guy that will just beat the crap out of you unless you beat the crap out of them. It's kind of a weird level to introduce them. Like, they're not... You'd think that they'd get introduced in something like Midland Patrol, which is coming up in a second. But they're just sort of in this random level about how to use blades or, like, spinning wheels to cut this stuff down. I don't know all the blocks that can do it. I know blades and saws, obviously. I think metal jaws can, and propellers. And honestly, you might be able to cut them down if you're just spinning anything fast enough. I don't know the exact rules for these crops, but I think they're pretty cool. Can I introduce these guys? Honestly, I'm talking to myself and I'm really, really liking this. This might be another S. I'll restrain myself and put it in A. But I kind of like Farmer. Oh, balls, I can't pronounce that. Farmer Gascoigne. I'm just gonna say Gascagine and assume everyone knows. Villager Diom. I love Villager Diom. The houses, they're a bit sturdier than the Epsilon houses. So it's a little harder to break them, but they're still very breakable. And they got these pots. You know, the pots with the rupees in them. They're fun to break. It's just a fun level to destroy. And it's got all this... What's that? Uneven terrain? For me, you shouldn't have. Village Diom, it's another A tier. Who could have seen this coming? Definitely not me. Now, well, I was talking about just a moment ago. Midland Patrol. All these guys are like like a bunch of farmer Gascagenes. You break the tents. The tents aren't really why you're here. You're here to survive these guys beating up your creation. And I think it's an important level to learn how to either fly over these guys, or have enough armor to beat them, have enough speed to beat them, or just have enough weapons to kill them before they reach you. I mean, it's a solid level. You learn how to fight big waves of tough enemies. Another A tier. Next up, got Valley of the Wind. This has the tornadoes. This level, the tornadoes are a lot of fun. They're, if I start the level here, pretty slow. And there's a lot of safe spots from them. And especially once you break one of these things, maybe I can show it. You like break one of these, and then the pieces get into the tornadoes. Then a lot of the pieces will fly up, and they'll break other ones for you. So it sort of ends up playing itself sometimes. It's not a bad level. It's a pretty fun level, but the tornadoes just aren't a very good obstacle. They should maybe move faster or move everywhere or be bigger. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think they're bad by any means, but I think I will put them in B. They're kind of B. Next up, a very interesting level, probably the smallest level. Odd contraption. Have to spin the wheel. You can do that with, there's a lot of ways to do it. Grabbers and rotators, or using wheels with like friction to move it, or water cannon, steam cannon, vacuum block. I actually really like this level, but I think I just find it really funny that it's so small. So I will put it in A. I want to put it in S because I'm a big fan, but I must be fair, is what I'm telling myself. Diam Well. It's another grabber level. I mean, it doesn't teach you that much. You have to break the top of a well and you move 2 of these. It's a bit more involved. You got to make sure you've got proper turning and whatnot. But it's not anything groundbreaking. It's well breaking. Don't laugh at that. It wasn't funny. Anyways, I think it's B as well, honestly. It's not a bad level, but there's nothing really to it, you know? You poison the well and you're like, alright. My grabber machine still works from the last time I did this. Oops, that's the same level. Next up is Surrounded. This one always has a cool opening when you go to this and you're like, whoa! I'm gonna get shot at. And you get shot at. Ow. I think it's a pretty cool level. It does teach you to learn how to build like a cheese machine. If you build out of like ballast or pistons, and then use like spinning blocks and like saw blades, or the round metal plates as wheels, to make a basically invincible machine, and then very slowly destroy everything. Or just make something big, make a big bomb, shrapnel bomb, get a lot of armor. I think it's a pretty cool level. But if you do learn how to make the cheese machine, it makes a lot of the upcoming like fight levels. And the previous level, like Midland Patrol, if you have a metal machine, you can just very slowly break all the tents while the guys crowd around you and can't do anything. So don't do that. Have fun instead. I would put this in A. Anyways, moving on to the Sacred Flame. Level that makes you use a water cannon, which is pretty cool. I like this level. You can break the thing to get it down. Sort of like Sacred Crystal, but they put the thing on a little rock. Which isn't the worst, but could be more interesting. Once it comes down, hitting it with a water cannon is essentially trivial. I don't think you can harpoon it down. I think the harpoon will burn. But you can build a balloon thing to get up there, something that flies, something to shoot it down, big extendo arm with a water cannon on it, like a fire truck sort of deal. I think it's a pretty cool level. Yeah, I put it in A. It's, sorry, I called it Sacred Crystal. It's called Grand Crystal. I always call it Sacred Crystal. Did I? I can't remember. It's called Grand Crystal, and this one is Sacred Flame. They're kind of similar, but this one you have to use a water cannon. The end. Next, we have Argus Grounds. There's supposed to be an apostrophe after Argus. Oops. Anyways, you raise the sword up and you bring it over here. I love this level. It's so cool. There's like giant swords and giant skulls and ribs. You steal a giant sword from the ground, and when you bring it up, you've probably all seen it. When you bring it up, crystals come out. They don't really do much because you can break them and stuff by running into them, but they're pretty cool. It's a very aesthetically pleasing level. And honestly, I'd put it up with the Duke's Freighters. It's a very cool level with a pretty unique objective. It's not super unique. There's other levels where you take something like Grand Crystal and move it to a little zone next to you, but you don't have to. Those you shoot down. This one you raise up, which I think you don't do anywhere else in the game, really. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. After that, we have another really small level. This actually might be smaller than the other one, but it's the Duke's Knowledge. You have to take off the top of this, and then you steal this from inside. Well, you kind of raise this up once you're in there. It's another level. I feel like this is a better Dion Well, because Dion Well, you don't really need a super controllable crane in order to get it done. But this one you gotta like reach into the box and pull the book out, and I think that's a lot more interesting of a challenge than putting the poison in the well. So I would put this one in A, above Dion Well. Next up we have the Venerated Heart. This is the one where you have to drop stuff on these two platforms and it opens up the crystal. Or you can drop something on this one and have yourself on that one and then shoot it. Or stand on one, like extendo arm over to the other one and then shoot it. It's pretty cool. There's nothing else really like it. So I don't know what else to say. It's a cool level, unique way of solving. I'd put it in A. Almost done with Tolbrand. We have the Great Shard in the Shattered Field. You steal the Great Shard. This level, it's pretty cool because the Great Shard is like 0 gravity, but I honestly don't really like it that much. I think that that Grand Crystal is just better. Because with the Great Shard, like, think about it. Grand Crystal, you can make a grabby arm to reach up and grab it and pull it down. And in Great Shard, you can also do that. But in Grand Crystal, you have the option to, like, break the tower and bring it down to you. This one is like, nope, you have to go up and get it. So you lose less options. It's not really like the whole Besiege. It's all physics-based. And you lose out on the physics because it's just sort of floats there. I don't know. There's a level coming up with a floating object that I think was a lot better because it did something interesting. This one, I feel like it's Grand Crystal, but more mid. So it goes in B. And last up, another similar to Winford's Keep, but these guys actually can do stuff to you, and the freighters will actually shoot at you. Destroy as much as you can. You want to break this tower with the clocks that are clearly broken. I don't know why they keep those around. Is a very cool aesthetic. Like Argus Grounds, similar to that, with like big massive chains keeping this like floating island chained down, sort of say. Very cool aesthetic. Honestly, it's a pretty good challenge. Trying to get up there. You don't really have to break all that much. Like once you hit the little bottom bit of this tower, the whole thing falls over, and you've basically won at that point. You don't have to really engage with the guys or the little ships down here or the flying ships. I think they could make it a bit better if you had to destroy a little more. It says destroy everything, but you don't actually have to destroy that much. But I would put it... Is it S tier? I'd put it A. It's a pretty high A. Eris's Refuge is a good level. It's a pretty good level. And that's all of Tolburn. Tolburn done. Now we're getting on to Valfrost in just a moment. Alright. You can't tell, but I took a break. I've been recording for 40 minutes now. But I'm back, and now we're just heading on to Valfrost. And the first level, Frozen Path. Let me tell you, I'm not a fan. It's an interesting challenge, and there's cool ways you can do it. Like with inchworm thing, like lots of speed, or lots of friction. Using fans to blow yourself into the floor. But the wind makes everything so uncontrollable. And I get that that's the challenge, but like losing control of your creation, like I never liked it. I'm gonna have to put it in C. I don't like the Frozen Path. I think it's frustrating to play, despite being very interesting. So I wish there were other levels with this kind of wind, like Lyre Peak has interesting use of wind, mostly. Ends up not mattering a whole lot there, but I think there are interesting use cases for this wind. But I don't think Frozen Path does it well. I don't know what I'd change to make Frozen Path better. Couldn't tell you. But I know that, as it stands, I play Frozen Path, I'm like, ugh, I hate this level. Anyways, we're on the Awakening Bells, which is another cool aesthetic level, because when you ring the bells, the faces in the back start crying. And when they stop, the faces stop. It's a cool level. It's interesting enough. It's not like one of my favorites. You gotta hit the bells hard enough, ring them all together, and then you win. I think it's an average level. It's decent. I would put it in B. It's not, I'm not over the moon about the Awakening Bells at all. Nor am I over the moon about Peculiar Clearing. Because you know what this level is? It's Odd Contraption, but they rotated it 90 degrees. Now it's on its side. It's like, alright, instead of spinning it around one way, you spin it the other way. I don't know why this level exists. Again, it's pretty cool aesthetically. You spin the thing, like these pillars raise up, and then when you get to the end, it's like a click, and a ghost comes out of this tomb, and there's like a dead guy in there. And that's all well and cool. That's very cool. But, I don't think it's a very interesting challenge. So, it's also going in B. It's not like C tier. It's B tier. It's uninteresting, but it's not like bad. Next up is the Martyr Knights. These guys, it's kind of like Midland Patrol, but they have these axe throwers that are like their archers. And it's a lot different from Midland Patrol because these guys are a lot tougher to kill. With the knights on Ypsilon and Tolbrand, if you knock them over, they're as good as dead. They explode in blood and they fly everywhere. These guys, you knock them over, you just sort of wait a bit, and then they get back up and keep coming at you. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing for, you know, structures and enemies to get tougher as the islands go on, harder to destroy, kill, but it feels very unsatisfying to fight these guys. At least that's what my first impression was. I've definitely come around to it more as time has gone on. I don't think this is a bad level. I think, you know, Queen's fodder, but what if they killed you instead? Alright, cool concept. Harder Queen's fodder. I'm gonna bite the bullet on this one. I don't super like this level, but I'm gonna put it in A because I'm being nice, and I think it's good that it exists. But I'm not gonna be so nice in the future. I will be nice to this level though, because Ordice load. I love this level. It's so much fun. It's like a little mini game. Do your drills, your saws, whatever, bombs, grenades. Destroy as much mountain as you can. Find the little gold nuggets and bring them out here. I think it's a great level. I love destroying the rock and finding the little nuggets. And, you know, something to grab them, or just like a big plow to plow them back over. It's a great level. I don't have much else to say about it other than it's fun. Oops. It's fun to grab that stuff and inside a rock and put it in S. I love breaking that rock. Actually, this might need to get shrunk a bit. See if we can. Is that good? It's kind of hard to read, but I'll say the name. Wish you would just make the tiers wider. Whatever. Next up we have the Mountain Barrier. This one's kind of like Orchid Load in that it's fun to break, but it's like a bit of a problem where I don't know if I'll be able to demonstrate it, but once you break a little bit of this, the whole thing seems to just fall over. Probably not going to be able to show it here. Or maybe they fixed it. I don't know. I've noticed that, like, you know what? It seems to be working fine. So I eat my words. Mountain Barrier, I'm very sorry. And you can go in A tier. It's fun to break, but it's like defended by the guys. It's pretty cool. You get to blow it up, and that's lots of fun. It's a big big crumbly wall. Moving on. Ooh. Balfrost is finally getting good. A Relic Frost. I'm a big fan of this level. I was talking earlier in Shattered Field about how the anti-grav floating thing was sort of boring. But this one is like anti-grav and it has like no friction either, which is also pretty cool. So it just sort of floats through space. But when you get close to it, it'll freeze you. Probably show it here. I don't know why I still have this little car. It'll freeze you, and oh, I'm crumbling. But with the right block composition, you can make something that's immune to the ice. I know, like, you can use wheels and propellers, something like that. Maybe it's ballast. I don't know. There's some way you can make it so that things won't freeze, or they will freeze, but they're still operational. In order to move this, you can come on this side, and try to shoot it in, hit it with a cannon or an explosive to blast it into there. You can use, again, these harpoons. kind of amazing for these grabbing levels. Shoot that at them, stand over here, shoot at them, and just reel it in. There's a lot of ways to do it. I think it's a very cool challenge. I would put it in A. Yeah, put it in A. Here's an interesting one. Consumed King. Got a little king in there. He's got to be taken out. This level is like almost great. And I'll tell you why. It's a normal level where you gotta grab a guy, but there's this big jaw that you gotta open up. Only problem is all these teeth. I don't know if I can do it with the grab. Here, let me just like load something that I can use to demonstrate. All these teeth, they break off. Okay, apparently those ones do. But the ones in the front do, and what I've always done with this is I have a creation that just drives in there and gets him. And I usually don't have to lift that much. I think it would have been... There's always a way to squeeze in there. But I think it would have been better if you were forced, like you could not get in there at all whatsoever. You couldn't even see in there until you had lifted the skull up. I think that would have made it a lot. Because it reminds me of what the level is. Argus Grounds. Lifting stuff up. Pretty cool. Like, you know, grabber, piston. Lift it up. Then you can go in there with something else. Or have like an extendo arm to grab it. But as it is, you can usually squeeze yourself in there just by driving at it, and it'll just open up for you, and then you drive back out, and you're like, wow, I didn't have to lift that at all. It just opens up whenever I like. So, actually, before I rank this, sick-ass dragon skeleton, by the way. That's real cool. Almost enough to bump it up a tier. But I will have to be putting it in B. Sorry, Consumed King. Another puzzle one. Involving monolith. Have to light the two flames in front. I guess I can just light the flames in front. Show you where things are, and then you spin them around to align with, like so. I like this level a lot. Your machine needs to do a lot of things. The fire, and the revolving. A lot of it is just figuring out what you actually have to do. But it's it's not too hard. You can pretty safely assume you got to line up the ones. Once you figure out you have to light the 2 beacons, figure out most of the rest of it. So, yeah, I'd put it up in A. I don't think it's a bad level at all. Cool puzzle. Last up in Valfrost, breezing through, we have the Penitent Tower. I don't really like the Penitent Tower. I think it's it's like Martyr Knights, but there's some stuff you have to break, but it's all pretty fragile. So it's just like easier Martyr Knights, because whatever you use to beat Martyr Knights, as long as it still runs around, you can, you know, bump into these things a couple times and they'll fall over. So I know, like, the ending levels, they don't really have to be much more than, you know, a bunch of stuff you can break. But I don't know. I just don't really like this one that much. There's no secret that I'm kind of a Valfrost hater. But it has some good levels. It's like up here, it's got some winners. Oops, I meant to go back to the menu because Valfrost is done, and we're on to Krolmar and the Towering Eye. Now this level, I've said that some levels are like upgrades of another. Oops, why am I? Okay, not so much. Clicked on the bird. This is like Standing Stone, but upgraded. This eye will shoot a big laser at you. Only problem with it, though, is that it's really slow. Like, it took that long for it to just set me on fire, and you can still move. Once you get set on fire, you can still run around and do stuff for a good long while before you actually fall apart. I think the laser should be faster. Maybe not like... what is it? Not like Standing Stone fast, but it should definitely, you know, come after you with a vengeance. There's a lot of cool things you could do here. You know, like a big metal block in front of you to block the laser out. Go fast, you know, to outrun it. But it's so easy to outrun that outrunning it is what most people end up doing anyways, just by virtue of driving forward at the regular speed. And then, you know, these things aren't terribly hard to knock over. Oops, I didn't even rate it. But it's a cool level. But I'd put it in B. It's not... I'd say Standing Stone, despite being far more minimal, is a lot better than Towering Eye, just because it actually hits you. Like, it does what the tower is supposed to do. This thing is supposed to make you move, but you were going to move anyways in order to destroy the thing. So the eye ends up not really doing that much. Also seems like it might be running out of space again. So let's zoom out here. Let's go with that. Move on to the Dower Vault? Dower? I don't know how you pronounce it, or if there is a right way to pronounce it. Take this key, you put it in that vault. It's another test of your grabber crane manipulation sort of skills. For my money, I think, well, is this better than Duke's Knowledge? Worse? Same? Honestly, thinking about it now, it's definitely similar to Duke's Knowledge. You don't have to, like, grab something out of something, but I'd put it on par. I was thinking about putting Duke's Knowledge down, but I think the the challenge of getting the thing out of the box is a little more interesting. I'd put, if these were ranked, I'd put Duke's Knowledge above Dower Vault. Because Dower Vault can definitely be kind of finicky. The key is quite unwieldy. But I think that's part of the challenge, right? Look back at it. There's not much to look at. I mean, it's also pretty cool when it ends and the key shoots up and the water bursts out as well. Just a cool aesthetic thing. But anyways, I like Dower Vault. I think it's a pretty good level. I was just very silent there because for some reason when I saw Dower Vault, I couldn't stop thinking about how it compared to the Duke's Knowledge. Anyways, we're on to Forgotten Sanctum? Forgotten Sanctum. This one's a very interesting one. It's another, you know, grabber manipulation test. We gotta move the mirror, the laser at the right way, shoot it at the gold pile. It does make you wonder why flamethrowers can't melt the gold pile. Who knows, but I understand why they did it like that. It also uses the laser from Towering Eye, so you can set yourself on fire, but it's pretty hard to do that. I don't hate this level, but I think that, I mean, it's basically the same kind of test as Dower Vault. It looks cool, but I think you only need this, either this one or Dower Vault. You don't really need both. I don't think any of them does it particularly better than the other. This one definitely looks more interesting, so if I were organizing the tiers, I'd probably put it above, excuse me, I guess so, but as it is, we'll say they're about equal, because gameplay-wise, I find them to be about equal. Up next is a Mesa Outpost. It's kind of like Midland Patrol from way back in Ypsilon with the cannons, but now they're like new bronze cannons, copper cannons. I don't know. They look cool, and there's a lot more of them. So they shoot at you, I'm told. There they go. I think these ones do more damage. They may not. I'm honestly not sure. But I think more interestingly is that they're up on this mesa. You need to figure out how to get up there. Or build something that, you know, can precisely shoot them down with cannons. We're also getting rid of those guys, but they're pretty easy to get rid of. I like this level. I think it's a good break because Cromar starts off with two puzzles right away. Dower Vault and Forgotten Sanctum. I guess not. I would say better puzzles. Starts off with those, and, you know, get a level where you just want to break some stuff. Get a level where you break stuff. You know, it's a good time. I would put it, I guess I'd probably put it, well, I put it above Midland's Encampment. Midland's Encampment is kind of, talked about it, but it's kind of mid. Mesa Outpost, you actually have to like climb up stuff. There's more cannons. I would say it's an improvement over Midland's Encampment, yeah. Let's see, 50 is Tree of Akmora. This level, I always like forget that it exists. You break the fruit, there's like 5 fruits. You have to destroy 4 of them, maybe? I don't remember. Break the fruits. You can't burn them for some reason. They're sort of up high. You need some kind of arm or whatnot. It's not the worst level. The best, but I think it's actually pretty good. Come to think of it. Thinking as I sometimes do about things. I would say... put it up in A again. I remembered that it existed more. Needs to be more memorable. For me, I guess. I don't know. Speaking of memorable, I remember this level for all the wrong reasons. And it's that I hate this level. These guys on the llamas just will not die. You knock them over and again and again and again, and they just won't die. And the guys up top, they're like a fun challenge. Like, how do you get them off there? You know, fly up there while they're shooting at you. Use a vacuum block. Like, launch stuff at them. But they're all so spread out that they're just like really annoying to pick off all the guys. And you might think that's not the worst, but it says kill everyone. And when it says everyone, it means literally everyone. You can't miss one guy, as far as I'm aware. So the end, you're like, alright, where's the last dude? And it's always like this dude or something. You're like, I didn't fucking see him up there. Or like one of these guys will have fallen over under another one and can't get back up or something. And you're like, okay, where is the last guy? So this level, I think you could fix it easily. It's a fun challenge. Like, it's sort of like ambush. Like, oh, you're in a disadvantageous position. You're going to need to armor up or whatever for all these guys up top. You're going to need a, you know, something to get rid of the dudes on the bottom. You're surrounded in this, I don't know what these rocks are called. Rocks, mountains. But it's just very, very frustrating to play. I put ambush in D. I do not like ambush. Don't play this level. You could fix it by changing it to like kill 90% and make the llama guys die easier. But moving on, we have another. Colmar loves their grabber tests. This is the third one, and I think it is, it's the coolest looking, obviously, but it's by far the least interesting to me. It's, you know, if you have something that can beat Forgotten Sanctum, you have something that can beat Strange Artifact. You put the little honeycomb things in the honeycomb-shaped... I don't know why I said honeycomb. That's a hexagon. The hexagon-shaped piece in the hexagon-shaped hole, and you beat the level. You do it twice. So, like, can you drive over here to do it again? You probably can. Strange Artifact. It's not a bad level, but I'm putting it in C because there's so many other levels that are better grabber tests. Duke's Knowledge, Forgotten Sanctum, Dower Vault, Odd Contraption, you know, Pine Lumber Site. You don't need Strange Artifact. It's unnecessary. But it looks very cool, and when you win, it does like a cool animation and like black tendrils come out on the ground. Kara's Village. I hate Kara's Village. I think this is like Village of Diam if it sucked and I didn't want to play it. It's got these dudes. I think they... Oops, one of those. I think they hit you or something. They're like Farmer Gascoigne. Yeah, they beat you up, but they're really bad at it. These buildings, I can demonstrate. I don't find them satisfying to break at all, because they have these like really big pieces. Like this, buildings before would either like completely explode so there's nothing left, or collapse into like a bajillion pieces, like an Epsilon. These ones, they're just like these big old chunks. So it feels like you haven't really destroyed them. You just like unscrewed the screws on their IKEA furniture buildings. And I always thought they felt kind of lame to destroy. It's like that thing was cool. It broke into a bunch of pieces. These things, it's like a box and you break it down and it becomes like 6 sides. Whatever. I don't like this level. Obviously, with all the puzzles going on Krolmar, they wanted some destruction levels. but this one's not it. I would put that in D as well, honestly. I hate Garrett's Village. I would rather play, you know, Highland Tower, Village Diom, Duke's Plea, any of these other like destruction levels. I find to be a lot more fun. Next up we have Stock Tower. You must grab the big boulder and move it. And I actually really like this level. It's a good challenge, you know. Move a heavy object. How are you gonna do that? I wish there was like another level where you had to like take the boulder and move it, like plug a volcano or something. I don't know. Move it on top of some high thing. I think that would be a fun challenge. Like move something very heavy up a long ways. But I'm just spitballing level ideas at this point. Stock Tower, it's fun. You get to move a big boulder. I fell silent because I'm looking at Tree of Akmora and I want to put it lower. I won't. I promise I'd like Tree of Akmora. Anyways, Stock Tower. It's fun. You can move a big boulder. A bunch of like... Maybe I can show it here. I think it's very funny when you move it. Oh, it doesn't open up until the level finishes. Legitimately. Well, a bunch of food flies out of there, and it's always very amusing to me. Anyways. Oh. I had the overlay up. Well, it didn't work anyways, so you didn't miss anything. Stock Tower, it's fun. You move a heavy object. Moving on. I don't know what to say about that. What else to say about that? It's The Last Stand, the final level of the original game, 1.0 version. Got some more story here. All the Ypsilon guys and the... I suppose they're Tolbrun guys, but they got blue now. And the Krolmar guys, and the Valfrost guys, and more Ypsilon guys, and all their tents are here. Hooray. And you get to destroy a huge castle. But the highlight of this level is this thing, because it's so cool. It flies around and like tries to be above you and shoot at you. Let's see if it'll actually shoot at all. Okay, I don't know why he's aiming over there. But I promise it does shoot at you. Turn it up. I'm like 90% sure that it shoots at you. And I want this in the custom level editor, along with like a million other things, because there's a lot missing, but that's a story for another day. This castle, I mean, you know, it's like, it's a bit better to destroy. It definitely still feels a bit like the Karez Village buildings, where you break it and you're like, I broke it? It feels like someone made it out of, you know, like hardened plaster. Just sort of like comes off in these big chunks that don't really get destroyed, but I think it's pretty fun. It's a good last level. Kill a bunch of dudes, you break a big castle, there's a cool airship. What could you want? I'll put it in A. I think it's a good level. And that's all of Krolmar, which leaves us just with the Splintered Sea. Start off with Gullrock Shack. Now you're going to see with the Splintered Sea is it's obviously trying to teach a lot of things like Ypsilon was. So you're going to see a lot of levels and go, oh, that's Ypsilon. It's a level in Ypsilon. But it's on the water now. And that is what we see here. Here's Southern Cottage in the water. And while I say that it's sort of derivative, I think it's a good thing in most cases, because water makes a huge difference in how you design things. So I think it's important to reteach a lot of what Ypsilon taught, but for the water. Here's a shed. Can you go forward and break it? You can't do that with wheels now. You need other means of doing that. So I would put, I'd put it up with Southern Cottage. They have the same vibe. You need to learn this. It's the most important thing to surviving the Splintered Sea. So, important level. Continuing the theme. Here's, what's that called? Woodland Caravan, but on the water. This one, it's basically the way to beat it. If you can beat Bell Rock Shack, you can probably do the same thing and hold forward and you'll run into the boats and you win. I thought like the nets might stop you, but they don't really stop you. They get pushed out of the way easily, and you just hold forward and you'll break the two boats. So I honestly think Crag Nets is like a B tier level. Honestly, maybe even a C tier level. There's nothing to do in Crag Nets. It teaches you nothing. You go forward and you win. Woodland Caravan's in B? I'm putting Woodland Caravan down with Crag Nets, honestly. Me from, 40 minutes ago, whenever I ranked Woodland Caravan, he was wrong and should feel ashamed. And he should have put it in C. But luckily, I'm here to correct his mistake. What's this level? Serpent's Crest? I think you mean perimeter wall, but on water. This thing in the front, and you have to go around it to get to your target? Whoa! That being said, I love this level. First of all, the aesthetic is super cool. It's a giant serpent skeleton. I don't know if you've gone under the water, but it's like a big eel or something. It goes on for a while. And these guys are collecting the bones on their cool boat. I want this boat! I wanted the level editor, but they won't let me have it. So you can go, over, you can go around. It also does teach you how to turn, so there's a bit of Old Howl Battlefield in there. The ship isn't like too hard to destroy. I think it's wooden. It looks sort of metallic, but you can still like burn the stuff on it, or just ram it hard enough and it will sink. All in all, great level. I like Serpent's Crest. I will put it in A. Next up, speaking of Old Howl Battlefield, is Old Howl Battlefield on the water. Wrigley's Pass, go drive to the thing, but don't drive into the mines. There are also some underwater in case you make a submarine. Just making sure that you have control over your vehicle, or you can just fly over there. There's not a whole lot else to say about it that wasn't said in Old Howl Battlefield. I'd probably put it in B. It's like Serpent's Crest already has sort of taught you how to steer, probably. Well, you can shoot over that. I don't know. I'd put it in B. It's just not a very involved level. Next up we have, can you make a submarine? Angler Deeps. Go through the places. This one, I don't think it's like vital that you learn how to make a submarine, but I think it's a good thing to teach, and I think this level does it pretty well. I mean, maybe they could have combined this one with Webley's Pass and just had the underwater mines in this level, because I think it would have been, about the same. But I digress. I think it's an A tier. You learn how to make a sub. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's all there really is to say. Moving on to Shipwreck K. This level, when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a sacred flame. There's a fire on top. And you gotta get up there and extinguish it, but it's on water. Then I realized this is more like Highland Tower, because if you break the tower, 9 times out of 10 this thing's ending up in the water anyways. So it more just wants you to break this tower, which I didn't realize the first time I did this, and I made something to water cannon the flame, which worked, which is, I think, it's cool that can happen, but it's a lot easier to just break the tower and have it fall in the sea. I like this level. It's the second level of this campaign where you are on sea and you're breaking something on a little island. If I were to rank it, I'd probably put it in B. Unfortunately, because like with Golrock Shack, you're learning to build on the water to break something. Alright. I convinced myself. Because I did say it was like Highland Tower. So I should be fair. It's stronger than Golrock Shack. You need more to break it. And it's got the water cannon angle. Alright. Oops. I keep doing that. I should stop. Need to zoom out a little bit more. Well, we're almost done. You'll see what the last ones are. I was saying something. I was being unfair to Shipwreck K. And I think it's as good as Highland Tower. This one is the Queen's Fodder, but on water. It's actually not. It's a lot more like Martyr Knights, but on water. Because Queen's Fodder, they don't really fight back. These guys, they throw spears, and they fight back. So you gotta build some armored enough to survive them, fast enough to outrun them, while still killing all the guys. That's really all there is to say about this level. I put it in A tier. Oh, it's called the Armada as well. The Armada, put it in A tier. Kill a lot of guys, but on the water, that's a good twist. Turns out that, but on the water, it's actually a pretty good twist. It doesn't really get old. It's interesting. Next up we have Razortooth Cave. It's sort of like now I've got to compare it to another level. I don't know, Grand Crystal, but underwater. It's not really, because these guys fight back. But anyways, you know what I mean. Once you learn how to make a sub in Angler Deeps, and here, maybe it's more like Pine Lumber Site. Learn how to make a sub. Now you got to put a grabber on it and get that thing. But also, you got to defend from the sharks. All right, now we're getting somewhere. So that's like a double whammy. I'm a big fan of this level. It also looks really cool. Look at that fucking rock shark mouth. But regardless, Razortooth Cave, I almost want to put it in S, because it's a fun level. But I think I'm going to stick with A. Yeah, I'm going to stick with A. And once more, we have another level in the water. This one we got Odd Contraption, but underwater, and with a funny squid guy. P.S. Give me squid guy in level editor, please. Thank you. You spin the gear, it opens the gate, but it's underwater. Once more, underwater twist. It's good, but yeah, it's good. I really said all that I wanted to say about that in Odd Contraption, but add underwater to every sentence. The last one, we have the quintessential, break a big thing as the final level, but now it's on the water. I gotta say, I love this level. I think it's great. There's a lot of stuff to break. There's a very cool ship to break, but they all shoot back. The ship will try to come up and broadside you with its 3 cannons. These cannons all shoot at you. I wish there was like a little more to break. This little tower is fun. When you hit the bombs, they all blow up. Everything goes kaboom. I wish there was like a little bit more to break, just so it's more substantial destruction. But that's nitpicking at this point. And I think this is the best final level of all of them. So I'm going to put it in S. Because I mean, the other one that comes close is Eris's Refuge. Eris's Refuge, very good level. But I think Solrock Fortress beats it out. Solrock Fortress is more interesting with the cannons that shoot back and everything. Now I'm thinking about it, maybe I do want to put Eris's Refuge in S. Where is it? It's gotta be... Oh, it's right here. I like Eris's Refuge. You know what? Now that here, go back to the main menu. So that'll be quiet. Now that it's all ranked, I gotta maybe move some things around. I think Eris Refuge is going up in S because I'm a big fan. Do I want to rank these tiers? Oh, why not? S tier's pretty easy because there's not a lot in there. Deuce Tier Freighters goes up real high. Solrock Fortress is real up there. Ordice Load, very high up there. These 3 are important, or these 2, Old Howl and Southern Cottage, are important, but I don't think that they're not like top of S tier. Same with Gull Rock Shack. It's important, but it's not the most interesting. I'd put the Queen's Fodder maybe here. There's Refuge maybe up here. Scouts maybe here. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I'd say that's good. A tier is going to be a pain. Let's do it last. In D, I like Karez Village more than Ambush because I hate Ambush. Not because I like Karez Village. C, I mean, Marksman's Pass is still a fine level. It's just very, I don't know, uninspired. Frozen Path, I'll put it at the top because it's a good challenge. I just hate doing it. Same with Strange Artifact. I'll put it up a little because it's not a bad level. It's just don't need another level like this. I put Cragnets up because it looks cool. These other 2, eh. In B, probably put Penitent Tower at the top, then Consumed King. Towering Eyes definitely up there. Shattered Field. I'd put Awakening Bells over Shattered Field, honestly. I'd put Valley of the Wind over, like, most of this, actually. I forgot Valley of the Wind was down there. Dion Well. Maybe stick it up. I'd put Midlands Encampment. Put that over Dion Well. No, I put that under Dion Well. Perimeter Wall. Inside Fort. I like the Inside Fort more than Perimeter Wall. Peculiar Clearing more than Southern Mill. I like Solomon's Flock actually more than a lot of this. I would put it up here. Webley's Pass. I don't know, the sea mines are pretty cool. Maybe up here. Maybe over Shattered Field. I kind of hate Shattered Field. I don't hate Shattered Field. Okay, apparently I can't. There we go. That seems right. Now I have to do A tier. Man. A lot of these are good. Which one's my favorite? That's hard. Village of Diam comes to mind. Highland Tower definitely comes up there. Pine Lumber Site, it's important. It's definitely the closest to being up with Old Howland Southern Cottage Inn. This isn't like the most interesting level, but it's a very important level because, you know, this level you're going to want to use Grabber as well. This one you're going to want to use Grabber as well. There's a bunch of other ones that I'm blanking on. You know, this one you need Grabbers probably. This one, Grabbers or Harpoons. I guess you can use Harpoons in Pine Lumber Site as well. Harpoons and Grabbers are sort of synonymous at this point because a Harpoon is just a grabber on a string. If Highland Tower's up there, being fair, Shipwreck K. Honestly, maybe Shipwreck K more interesting than Highland Tower because it's on water. Just to say. Lyre Peak. Lyre Peak's up pretty high. Lyre Peak I'd put up below Village of Diam. I put it up there pretty high. Standing Stone, Farmer Gascagene. I do like Farmer Gascagene. I'd put it up. I can't go over Pine Lumber Site. I'd put it up there. Man, there's so many in A. I guess this really speaks to the quality of the levels. Serpent's Crest. It's not better than Duke's Plea. Oh, Duke's Plea is better than Windfrisk Keep. Duke's Plea is a great level. It's got to go up with Village. Windfrisk Keep, I'd put above Standing Stone. And I'd put Duke's Prototypes above Standing Stone. I put a lot of this above Standing Stone. Standing Stone's kind of going down. Midland Patrol, I'd put above Lyre Peak. Relic Frost, I'd put that above Lyre Peak also. Lyre Peak's going down now. Mountain Barrier, I'd put that with like Highland Tower. Put it above Highland Tower. It's about the same. Well, I think I like Highland Tower better. Let's see here. Grand Crystal. I'd put that above Serpent's Crest. I put that above Windfrisk Keep. Windfrisk Keep can honestly go down below. Put Southern Shrine over Standing Stone. I love Odd Contraption, but it's not most interesting. I'd put it up with Grand Crystal. Tree of Akmora, you're going at the bottom, sorry. Forgotten Sanctum and Dower Vault. I think Forgotten Sanctum, I like it better. Mesa Outpost. Put that up here. Armada. I guess I would also put that up pretty high. Put that above Odd Contraption. Put that above Shipwreck K. Razortooth Cave. That was kind of like Pine Lumber Site, as I said. I'd put that up above Shipwreck K as well. I'd put that above Armada. No, I wouldn't. I was lying. Angler Deeps. That's about where it belongs, honestly. The Bastille. Maybe right here. Sacred Flame. Sacred Flame's pretty low for me, honestly. Put it down here with the Last Stand. Put that up above Windfish Keep. Stock Tower can actually go pretty high. Put that just below Windfish Keep. Martyr Knights, they're alright. They're better than the Venerated Heart. They're better than the Duke's Knowledge. They're not better than Surrounded. I think the Bastille goes down below them, actually. Venerated Heart, I'd say better than the Duke's Knowledge. Duke's Knowledge, Vulcan Mindless is better. Duke's Knowledge, I'd say Forgotten Sanctum's better, but I like Duke's more than Dower Vault. Okay. I think that's good. Well, I've never done anything like this before, so I'm just going to pretend that all went according to plan. Very nice. And I think that just about wraps things up. I mean, it's been an hour 30. Jesus. Yeah, I'd say that's everything. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you disagree. If you do, you are unfortunately going to be admitting to being wrong. But on the off chance that maybe you know something I don't, you could be right. So maybe let me know. Yeah, all just a bit of fun. I think, with the exception of Ambush, they're all good levels from a design perspective. And yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say. All right, thanks for stopping by. Bye bye.